Are you in the market for new earbuds? Stop. Just wait a few weeks. Sony's over-ear XM6 model has been out for a few months already, and everyone's wondering, where's the successor to the in-ear XM5s? Well, they're just around the corner, and we have some interesting leaks and rumors about the WF-1000XM6, including availability and pricing. First up, the colors. On the previous model, they first started off with black and this beige silver color, and then introduced a pink color later on. But rumors have it is that the XM6 is just going to come in black and silver. They might introduce more colors later on, typical of Sony. In terms of the ear tips, now we got to talk about this because yes, on the XM5s, you only got 4 sizes, and it's rumored to be bumped up to 5 sizes on the XM6 model, which is good, right? And more people are going to find their size. But I think the biggest problem, and that was the reason why Rowan and myself could never really daily drive the XM5 buds, is because they came with foam tips. And the problem with foam is, there are a couple of problems with foams. First off, the advantage of foam is that it seals off your ear canal really well. So it's good for, sound and ANC isolation. But the issues outweigh the pros in our opinion, because you have to really pinch the tip before you insert them into your ear, which is a lot of extra steps, right? It's not just grab the bud, shove it in your ear, you're done, right? And it can also get a lot of buildup of grime. And there have been reports of people online saying that they've started to fall apart as well. So we're very happy to see that they're going to silicone tips on the XM6. Now, what I'm also curious about is whether they're going to be rounded or oval tips. Now, Sony has always done rounded tips in the past. Again, that's great for fit, right? They will stay securely in your ears, but they're not as comfortable as oval shaped tips. In terms of audio quality, they're likely to feature the DSEE Ultimate, which is like a AI-supported real-time audio upscaling kind of system or technology. Again, we're going to test it. We're going to see what it does, but very curious. I mean, let's not downplay it yet just because it has the word AI in it, but time will tell. There was no news, curiously, about new tuning or drivers. They may or may not introduce that, but that's actually what we're more excited to see on these buds. But yeah, stay subscribed. We are going to get our hands on it very soon, and then we will test them out. Then there's the size. Now, the box, so the packaging it comes with, it has been seen to be a bit taller and wider, but significantly shorter by about 15 millimeters than the XM5 box that we have here. However, the dimensions suggest that Sony is keeping a similar case shape rather than moving to a square design like the Link Buds Fit. So it looks like the case design is going to stick to the XM5's design, and they're not going to make any big moves there. But to be honest, guys, the XM5s, that was one of the biggest pros on it, is that it has such a compact case design. Now, we're not going to complain if it stays the same, right? So if it's smaller, that's always better, but we just hope that they don't compromise on anything else, like battery life, which we will talk about next, because there have been some active battery testing filings from October 2025. And there, the speculation is that the potential capacity in the batteries, similar to what they've done on the over-ear XM6s, is reduce it. So on the XM6s, they've reduced the battery capacity by 12.5%. But the thing is, the other components that you need in this kind of tech can become more efficient. And that's probably what's going to offset the smaller capacity reduction. Now, that might help reduce the case size. That might help reduce the bud size or even the weight. But again, we'll have to see. But speaking of numbers, right? The XM5s came with 8 hours of battery on the earbuds with ANC on. Obviously, everyone's going to hope for more. But guys, who is using these buds for 8 hours at a stretch without you in between at least popping them back into the case? We are, for one, not doing that. Even on long flights, we do let our ears take a break or use over ears or whatever. But if you are one of those, I'm sure you'd love it to be more. But personally, we would be happy if it stays around that 8-hour mark. I think that's really punching above the average weight class that we see in earbuds in the market right now. In terms of noise canceling, the current XM5s have been excellent. We've tiered them at tier S, so that's top of the line. And then for transparency, though, they came in at tier A. So there's definitely room for improvement there. And so we're excited to see if they're able to get that up to tier S. The problem with the XM5s is that they let in voices and the mid-range quite well. They struggle with the low end, and they were slightly suppressing that in transparency mode. So there are rumors to point to a further upgrade in active noise cancelling performance. And we're curious if that's really going to be on the active noise cancelling or on the transparency front. But again, we will test that out as well in depth. So stay tuned for that. All right, before we move on to the announcement dates and the release dates and the pricing, a big thanks to all you guys, our subscribers, our patrons and YouTube members, especially these folks on the tested tier. And a very big thanks to our highest tier, that is the Fuckman tier. Thank you, Croxland, Brian, Rachel, Paula, and Radspanda. Now, the announcement date looks to be on February 12th of this year, and that's when pre-orders will also start. The release date, however, the official global sales launch, is expected to be on February 23rd, so a little bit later than the launch date. And the pricing, the European pricing at least, is going to be 299 euros, which, you know, matches the price of the predecessor, the WF-1000XM6. So it suggests no price hike here. So definitely happy to see that. Again, dollar price is yet to be seen. We've seen some rumors of it being between 3 to 330 USD. So then it's interesting to see where it brings the XM6s, right? Because the XM5s are 300. So suppose this is the XM6. Now the AirPods Pro are actually cheaper at $250, right? We've got another competitor, for example, the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra Gen 2, which are listed at 300, but you can kind of get them at 250. So they're kind of here, right? Another good competitor is the JBL Tour Pro 3. These guys are expensive and they still are around the $300, $330. So I think this one will be more like matching the XM6. So it's going to be an interesting lineup, at least when we're considering these major brands. All right, stay tuned. We will let you know if we know more about these buds before the launch date. And otherwise, we're going to bring you our review very, very soon. But if you want to see our review on the current Sony WF-1000XM6, then click here. And if you want to see our take on the over-ear version, the XM6, then click here. Doei!